Hello friends, and welcome to the Gesundheit Kitchen. My name is Rueffert, and I have a giant pineapple in front of me, which is a little intimidating to some people, I've found out. And it is. It's spiky. It's, I think a lot of young folks, their only sort of experience with a large pineapple is on SpongeBob. I want to sort of demystify the pineapple, and of course they're great. You can buy them frozen, you can buy them already cored and peeled, you can buy them canned, not that there's much going on there nutritionally, but there is in pineapple a digestive enzyme called bromelain. And pineapples are in the bromeliad family, and if you have a green thumb, if you're into growing things, you can actually grow pineapples. Just twist off the upper green portion, and you let this dry until it actually forms a kind of a woody callus on there. You'd peel off the lower leaves, and it makes a beautiful plant, makes more pineapples, but it doesn't like frost, so if you're in a cold zone, kind of forget that. But so once you have the green removed, it really is just a matter of getting into this prickly outside. So the best way to attack this thing is really just to get a good knife, cut through the top and bottom to where you have a flat surface to work with. Make sure your fingertips are in a different zip code of the blade. Just keep your opposite hand kind of far away from it. And so then cut in half, go right through the middle, all the way down. And much like an apple, the middle is very hard and fibrous. So we're going to treat it just like an apple, and we're going to go straight down, cutting it into 4 pieces. So we're quartering it. And now I'm going to stand up. Well, it depends on your knife skills. I mean, have whatever you're comfortable with. You can stand it up and basically take the triangle out of the middle. I'm going to go straight down because that round core has now been quartered. And so that's an easy way to do it. And usually I can just kind of tell with my knife. If the knife goes in and leaves a nice mark like that, I've gotten past the fibrous stuff. The fibrous stuff is usually so fibrous, you can see when I tap it, it doesn't leave a mark. But the other stuff is so fleshy, it leaves a nice little space on there. So that's all I'm doing. Or if you're not comfortable holding it upright like this, you can also lay it down and just kind of go at an angle and cut through this way. I do the same thing with apples when I quarter them. That's the easiest way to core them if you don't have one of the little fancy coring devices. You can just lay it on its side like this and then cut the core out. And if you got any woody spots, sometimes they will have kind of woody spots in there. You just, like with any fruit, if you got a bad spot, nothing wrong with just pulling those guys out. I save the trimmings for my chickens. Love it. Or if you compost, you can compost this stuff, but anything that's kind of acidic, you have to be careful. Don't put too much in there because it can kind of offset the balance of your compost piles. All right, so now that we've got this done, the core is out. Really, for me, it's easier to stand it up. I'm just gonna kind of go around the outside here, removing this kind of spiny, like a pine cone. I think that's the derivation of the name pineapple, because it really does look like a pine cone and an apple got together on a weekend and made some kind of new concoction there. So that is beautiful, juicy, and I'm gonna put all of the quarter of this into a smoothie that I'm gonna make. But here you can see I've just cut it once again. It's kind of cutting it into eighths and then cutting it into bite-sized sections. So this is a perfect way to store it in your refrigerator. It has enough acidity that you don't have to put lemon juice or something on it to keep it from going brown, but I would refrigerate it because it will oxidize over time. So let me put all of this stuff to the side for the chickens. Now we're gonna make a smoothie. So the idea here is I love incorporating different things together, and avocado makes a fantastic smoothie. And if you don't have a fresh one on hand, frozen avocado is pretty readily available now, and it'll give you that frozen consistency you want for a smoothie, and it also is very creamy, has a great sort of binding quality to it. So in with this quarter of a pineapple, I'm putting a good solid cup of avocado. Again, you can use fresh avocado, just the meat. You're not using the skin or the seed in there. Doesn't matter how powerful your blender is, avocado skin and seed will not make for a delicious smoothie. So in we go with our quarter of a pineapple. Now, other ingredients. This is a cup of, you can use Greek yogurt, but in this case, this is silken tofu. It has a wonderful consistency. It's flavor neutral, but it makes a really nice creamy consistency. And I don't do too well with dairy these days, so I tend to stay away from dairy, so I'm using an almond milk. And this particular almond milk is vanilla flavored, which will work quite well with a smoothie. But I'm going to wait and put the liquid portion in here until I start spinning this around to see how much liquid I need. So I'm always hesitant to give an exact number or exact quantity, because you never know how juicy the pineapple was. So there's too many variables in that before you start adding that to it. Then I also want to add some spirulina. Now, spirulina is a strange thing. It is an algae, and it's a marine algae, but it is one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. And just to show you here, 2 teaspoons is 13 grams of protein. Lots of potassium in there as well. B12, B6, calcium, and 44% of your daily needs for iron, which I know a lot of partial or total gastrectomy patients can't absorb iron through your nutrition. So the iron might not be something that's a selling point for us, but still very nutritionally dense. So I'm going to put in just this is more like a tablespoon. I'm going to put in a level tablespoon into there. And it is a very interesting blue-green color. So if the idea of a green smoothie kind of freaks you out, maybe you omit the spirulina. But there are some spirulina powders that are truly blue. You can make a Smurf colored one. So let's crank this up and we'll see how much liquid we need to add. Gonna get loud for just a second. All right, if you're doing a haunted Halloween kind of affair, this might be a good one to do a retelling of The Exorcist, because it is a very interesting color. But don't let that color freak you out. It is something that has a unique flavor profile, spirulina, but there's not enough in here to overwhelm it in any one direction. And the pineapple is going to take a lot of that front and center there. So let's see. So the consistency is about where I want it. I added, I guess, all in all, about 1.5 cups, maybe 2 cups of the almond milk to get it that consistency. But the silken tofu definitely gave it a nice viscosity. I don't know if viscosity is a word that people, relate with good food, but it is something that that you're looking for. You're looking for what they call mouthfeel, right? So you're looking for something that has that sort of, it's drinkable, it's fluid, but it also has sort of, I guess you'd say, like a buttery quality to it. So you eat with your eyes first, so it's always good to have a little bit of a garnish hanging on there. So yes, I left the skin on this particular piece of pineapple, but that looks really nice. If you have some fresh mint in the garden, that would also look really good on there. But I can't look at this color and not chuckle a bit, because it is definitely a science fiction sort of a drink, but I promise you, nutritionally, it is delicious, and it's the kind of thing that you can let your creativity just go wild with this thing, whatever you want to put in here. If you start putting red berries, it makes it more purple, and just an interesting thing all around. So make yourself a smoothie. It's a great way to get those added calories and added nutrition into your diet, and just a fun way to kind of play in the kitchen. Until next time, take care of yourself. Gesundheit.